Jesus. Who put this on me? Who put this on me? Who put this on me? There's a goddamn Chinese flag on me. Good God. Jesus. Yeah. What the hell? Get off me, sons of bitches. Go. Go. I said get out. God damn it. Get out of here. What the hell? Stop it. Stop it. Get away. Sons of... Go. Sons of bitches. Who put this on me? Jesus. That's a goddamn Chinese flag. Who did this? Who put it on me? Wait, I'm still dreaming. I'm dreaming. I'm gonna go back to sleep and wake up again. Oh shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That thing's still on me. That son of a bitch thing's still on me. I can feel it. Oh God. God damn it. Go. Jesus, go. Get away. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Fucking thing. Go away. God damn it.
When Marshall McLuhan was asked, isn't television itself primarily a visual medium? He responded, no, it's quite the opposite, although the idea that TV is a visual extension is an understandable mistake. Unlike film, television is primarily an extension of the sense of touch rather than of sight. And it is the tactile sense that demands the greatest interplay of all the senses.
TV ain't no tactile.
The secret of TV's tactile power is that the video image is one of low intensity or definition, and thus, unlike film, offers no detailed information about specific objects, but instead involves the active participation of the viewer. The TV image is a mosaic mesh not only of horizontal lines, but of millions of tiny dots, of which the viewer is physiologically able to pick up only 50 or 60, from which he shapes the image. Thus, he is constantly filling in vague and blurry images, bringing himself into in-depth involvement with the screen, and acting out a constant creative dialogue with the iconoscope. The contours of the resultant cartoon-like image are fleshed out within the imagination of the viewer, which necessitates great personal involvement and participation. The viewer, in fact, becomes the screen, whereas in film, he becomes the camera. By requiring us to constantly fill in the spaces of the mosaic mesh, the iconoscope is tattooing its message directly on our skins.
Did you ever notice that your hands don't stick together? You can hold things and let go. It's the fact that you can hold and let go, which is the essence of the tactile function, or the tactile sense. It's the interplay, the movement within the gap, that is the essence of tactility. Tactility is not really a sense. It's the interplay of all the senses. It's the part of our brains that coordinates the input from the other sensory data, the eye, ear, nose, foot data, the visual, acoustic, kinetic, olfactory data. So tactility is the interplay of senses. All our media were extensions of each one of these senses, but with television you have the extension of the interplay of the senses, because television is eye, ear, movement, and even smell if you're looking at the advertising. The interplay of tactility is in television. So tactility is essentially nothing. Television is the medium that is nothing. It is light through. So that's what we mean when we say television is tactile.
This is a hand and a foot walking down the street.
And what's that right there?
A TV with hands and feet coming out of it.
McLuhan says the first reference to TV is in Shake ESP Ear.
I say M-O, M-O-P, M-O-P-P. Come with us through melody to the four corners of the earth. Hear music exotic and familiar spring from the amazing hands of Carla Pandit on a musical adventure.
Carla Pandit said that television has tremendous potential to teach, but it has also the power to rob us of freedom on a very fundamental level. We have got to put soul back into this robot.
Carla Pandit, who performed on television in the 1950s, is making this statement in 1988. Unfortunately, there is no television in the late 80s. It is more accurately described as a mixed corporate media liquid crystalline flow input. That is where we were in the late 80s. But taking what he said, that television had a tremendous potential to teach, he's referring to the content. But television itself was a teaching machine already in the 50s, altering society and creating a tactile bias. If you think of losing your tactile bias as losing your freedom, then you're projecting literate values from the previous century on a new expansion of consciousness, i.e. an extension of tactility. So it's hardly a loss of freedom.
Everyone said, well, can he talk? And they said, then Klaus would never talk. And it went on. And then of course, day or each year got more mysterious. And so they never would let me talk. At 900 live shows, we never spoke.
McLuhan wrote in The Interior Landscape in 1969, the cover of TV Guide painted by Salvador Dali depicted two thumbnails as TV screens. This is pure poetry. Dali immediately presents the fact that TV is a tactile mode of perception.
Here Dali successfully delineates the characteristics of the tactile qualities of the TV image. This is done in the late 60s. However, McLuhan had spelled out these characteristics 17, 18 years earlier. So it's not extraordinary that the qualities of the 1950s tactile environment become conscious among leading artists in the late 60s. But what artist is painting the tactile effects of the satellite interplay of icon, contour, and interval at this point? Marshall McLuhan is speaking it, but is there an artist painting it?
TV became what it was always meant to be, not a resonant and wise medium, not serving some lofty connective purpose, but just an extension of the day-to-day urgency of who we are.
I say M-O, M-O-P, M-O-P-P.
Do you like color fields, fine art, Mark Rothko maybe?
Rothco Blowout Sale.
Ah! We got crazy prices, $99.99. So come on in, folks, come see what we got.
Bobby Rothko presents.
Look at all this Rothko we got. Ah, I can't believe my eyes! All this Rothko!
Prices.
99.99% off. 2 days only. Wow, wow, wow.
2 days only.
Oh my god, it's so dark. We got black on crimson Rothkos, rare Rothko. Couple vertical red rectangles on green, orange on deep red. Fan favorite. It's Rothko, like you've never seen it before. I'm no artist, but I know great art when I see it. We got red Rothkos, blue Rothkos, bunch of black Rothkos in the back. 2 day only blowout sale!
2 days only. Robbie Rothko presenting Blowout Sale on the corner of Mesa and San Antonio at Nada Marfa.
Is it just east of Dairy Queen or across from Porter's and east of... What are we, west? Oh, yeah.
Behind the Dairy Queen.
Sick.
Hypnosis is a process of responding to what I call mind triggers. To understand it completely, you need to understand that you have two minds. You have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is what we call the critical factor. It's the mind that's listening to me right now, and it's determining whether the information I'm giving to you is appropriate for you or not. Your subconscious mind, on the other hand, is just a computer. It's non-critical. It doesn't know how to make judgment. When you learn how to non-critically accept suggestions, you become more powerful. You've learned the elements of self-hypnosis. When you learn to non-critically accept suggestions, you become more powerful. When you've learned the elements of hypnosis, you become more powerful. And you've learned to set aside that critical factor, you become more powerful. You'll use hypnosis in your life and learn to create a more powerful existence. Here's a great way to learn about non-critically accepting suggestions. Hold the end of your pendulum like this. Place one hand beneath the pendulum so it's about an inch away. Look directly at the weight on the end of the string and imagine. Visualize. In your mind's eye, see the pendulum begin to move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Visualize. Imagine the motion. Again, look directly at the pendulum and see it. Visualize it. as you become more powerful, moving in a circle now. Visualize the circle spinning back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The more you visualize it, the more you use your imagination. As you become more powerful, the more the pendulum will move back and forth, back and forth. Allow your mind and eyes to trace that path that you desire the pendulum to move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As you concentrate, the pendulum will indeed begin to move back and forth. In fact, the more you concentrate, the more it swings back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's fine. You're doing perfectly. Stop your pendulum right now, no matter how much it's moving. What I want you to do now is to begin concentrating on moving the pendulum in a circle. Again, look directly at the pendulum and see it, visualize it. Moving in a circle now. Visualize the circle spinning back and forth, back and forth. You've learned to non-critically accept suggestions.
Rothco.